I've noticed that in our country, many people listen to English music just to appear cool, despite not even fully understanding the lyrics. What do you think about this? What kind of music do you listen to? Like I said, when you have a dominant culture in the world, the Anglo-Saxon culture, it is all powerful, it is all pervasive. So people want to copy and ape that and their culture and their cultural manifestations like music and all that in order to appear cool, even if they don't really understand it, right? They don't understand the lyrics or whatever, they just want to copy that and appear cool. Because if you sound American, if you pretend to be Western, you look more cool than your desi counterparts. So that's how it is. So that's unfortunate, but that's just how society and sociology and psychology works. So I think it's unfortunate. What kind of music do I listen to? I listen to music from all over the world. um, I'm a big fan of Mongolian music. Yeah, for instance, Mongolian folk music, from Mongolian folk rock. You may have heard perhaps of a Mongolian rock band called The Who, which is a folk rock band. It is rooted in Mongolian traditional music. And I'm also into pure proper Mongolian folk like Batzorik Vanchig, who has this famous song called Chinggis Khani Magdal, which has a variety of interpretations and versions. I'm a fan of Romani music from Europe, gypsy jazz, artists like Bireli Lagren and Django Reinhardt, Chavolo Schmidt, Dorado Schmidt, Hono Winterstein, gypsy jazz, Romani. The Romani are Indian origin people in Europe, and flamenco. Flamenco is a Romani art form from Spain. Flamenco music is incredibly beautiful. I am I like music from Western Africa, Mali, the roots of the blues. Artists like Toumani Diabate, Vieux Faka Touré, Ali Farka Touré, what's her name? I forget her name. Fatimata Diawara, and so on. Japanese music, Chinese music. I like music from all over the world, but the most interesting form of music for me is Indian classical music. It is the oldest form of music we know of in the world. It's the most advanced form of music in the world. And we are losing that. It's incredibly rich, complex, and beautiful. You know, we have the concept in Indian classical music. The central concept is the concept of the rag. A rag is not just a musical scale, it's much more than that. Every rag has a certain scale, maybe an ascending scale that is different from a descending scale. You have sonant notes and consonant notes and drone notes and so much more. It's complex, it's beautiful. With a rag, you can create a certain atmosphere and a character and a personality. Every rag is different. There are certain rags that are for the morning time, some rags for evening time, some rags evoke certain seasons, and so on. It's a very complex thing, and I wish that people would explore that more. So unfortunately, Indian classical music is dying out today. That's where we are, and that's very unfortunate. I wish that people would explore that more, but it's not cool nowadays. That's where we are. So I think that people should explore Indian music more, but the question is, where do you explore that? Which are the great artists? All the great artists are from the past. People like Nikhil Banerjee and Pandit Ravi Shankar and Hari Prasad Chaurasia and Shiv Kumar Sharma, Bhajan Sopori. All of these people have passed on, unfortunately. So there are no great artists alive today that I can think of. Maybe a couple, but all the great artists are in the past. And there is no innovation happening in Indian classical music. It's all with the same old instruments. I would like to see people innovate and use modern instruments and electronics and all that to play Indian ragas and all that. That would be fascinating. There was this artist called Charanjit Singh from the 1980s who played a who came up with an album called 10 Ragas to a Disco Beat. It was Indian ragas on Roland or some synthesizers. Incredible. Sounds very modern, sounds futuristic, and sounds rooted in Indian culture. It's amazing. So I would encourage all of you to explore Indian classical music. Would you like to? Why don't I demonstrate a little bit? Yeah, let me demonstrate just so that you get an idea of how it is. So this thing is called a guitar. It's my old guitar, 20 years old. So for example, I spoke about ragas, and ragas are all about seasons. So listen to this. This is called Raga Vasant. So this is called Ragavasanth. It evokes the springtime. There is something called Raga Bhairav, which is it's a very early morning dawn raga. For instance, it's like this. The scale goes like this. So this is the Raga Vasanta. There is something called Raga Shivaranjani, for instance. It sounds somewhat like this. The scale is like this. One second, where is it? Here we are. This is Raga Shivaranjani. You may have heard certain Hindi songs based on this. For instance, so Bollywood has been using Indian ragas. Bollywood and various other forms of various other music industries have been using ragas, but they don't quite publicize the fact. All Indian music is based on the system of ragas that comes in from olden times. It's the oldest music system in the world. So I would encourage you all to try and look it up, try and partake of that, this cultural richness that we have.